From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the Kern County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxtun Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy, and our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Thank you. Good afternoon. We are reconvened. Welcome to the 2 p.m. session of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, February 24 meeting. Your regular chair, Peters, is absent today. He is under the weather. He very much wanted to be here, tried to be here, but he is home getting better. He has a small baby, as some of you may know or not know, but you know now. And his health is of paramount concern and priority. So we're happy that he is taking care of himself and his family. So I will be chairing your meeting this afternoon. We'll begin as we usually do with our roll call. Madam Clerk?
Supervisor Peters, Supervisor Parlier.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here. Thank you. Now would be the time that we receive a report on actions taken in closed session.
Yes,
Madam Counsel?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. This morning, following the AM agenda, your board met in closed session on items 27 through 29 and item 31. Item number 30 was withdrawn. No reportable actions were taken. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We now will move to the consent agenda. These are matters that are considered routine and non-controversial by county staff. They are listed with a CA or a C, and they refer to matters that have been worked through procedurally, and we do not believe would require lengthy discussion today, but if a member of the public feels otherwise, you can come down and speak to us about it. You can make comment and provide input on consent matters, and we would be happy to hear from you on those matters. Consent matters begin on page 2, and they include item 3. On page 3, all items listed 4 through 7. On page 4, all items listed 8 through 12. On page 5, items 13 through 19. Is that correct? Okay, thank you. On page 6, all items listed 20 through 25. And on page 7, items 26 through 27, as well as 29 through 32. On page 8, items 33 through 38. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on the consent agenda as just listed? Okay. Item number 28. Ma'am, that is not a consent matter. We're going to take that matter up in a few moments, and you'll be able to provide your input. No problem. Any other consent matter issues? Okay, then I will close the public hearing portion and ask my colleagues for comment, question, or action.
Motion on consent. Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores. Thank you. We have a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, moving on to page 2, we have public presentations. This portion of the hearing is reserved for members of the public to speak to this board or provide comment, ask questions on matters that are within the jurisdiction of the Kern County Board of Supervisors, but are not on today's specific agenda. If you're here on the animal matter, that you'll have an opportunity to speak momentarily. But if there are other matters that are within our jurisdiction but just not on today's agenda, now's the time to come down, state your name, and please spell it for the record. And also we ask for your grace in acknowledging the 2-minute time that has been allotted as we do every week. So thank you and welcome. Hello, good afternoon, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Megan Pater from Boron.
Hi.
We're here again. I just wanted to say thank you for the park updates. That was amazing. The baseball field's almost done, and it's so cool. I can't wait to see what else we're gonna do there. I wanted to give you guys just a quick update of what's going on in the community. The Sunrise Solar Field has set up shop on our other border on the San Bernardino side, but we didn't get any notifications, or they haven't come out to talk to the community. I've approached them about that. They haven't responded, and they actually told me they weren't gonna do that. So when they did respond, so if there's a way to put pressure on them, the community's really upset again with another solar field doing other things right next door, and then we didn't get any notification. They kind of want to have something happen with them. They like just a community meeting, just anything. So if there's a way to put pressure on them, that'd be awesome. They just referred me to Ampion to get the credits, the solar credits. I was like, yeah, we need you to come down and talk to us, actually. So, yeah. And then we have a whole bunch of burglaries going on in town, and I don't know if you were aware of this, but there's been nearly had a gas leak. There was a gas leak. Somebody that took out all the toilets out of the home, like everything. The house almost blew up. Our sheriff's department was right on top of it. They got there quick enough, and and nothing bad did happen, but somebody's gonna get hurt, and it's getting kind of scary. So if we could get some, I don't know what, but we just need help. If there's more attention there, or maybe more patrols. Other than that, I think that's all. You can do it in under a minute.
You're good. Supervisor Parley, did you have comments on this matter?
I do. Thank you so much for coming today, Megan. I'm just going to start off real quick regarding the ball fields. It's about a $500,000 project for that park, which includes the snack bar, the restoration of that, new roof, the sea container building, just had a new roof put on it too. Pickleball court should be going in shortly also. In the fields, I look forward to being out there on opening day. Hopefully get to throw the first pitch. And when all the sod and everything is in by then, hopefully.
It's awesome.
I was out there Saturday and did a community cleanup in Pioneer Park.
Yep.
If you haven't checked out the video, please do so on my site. And then I have a question for County Council. So when you're talking about something outside of our jurisdiction in another county, do we have any ability to do anything? When you're talking about something outside of our jurisdiction, this project she mentioned, a solar project, it sounds like it's in San Bernardino County. What are our abilities, if any?
Abilities to,
They object to the solar field, but it sounds like it's already been potentially approved by San Bernardino. We don't have any authority over that county.
we do not have authority over things that are approved by San Bernardino. That is correct. I don't know if there is any potential legal remedies. I'd have to know more about the actual
Okay, we can have a
project.
sidebar on that later.
Yeah.
And now on the sheriff's issue regarding crime out there, I'll make sure that my office reaches out to the sheriff's department. And if you please, if you have time, go up to my office, fifth floor, suite 502, and talk to my staff. If you have any information regarding specifics of what's going on, maybe we can help navigate a better response out there too.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, I know the San Bernardino thing, thank you, because I mean, I don't know I know you can't do anything about it, but we just need them to come talk to us and just kind of,
Yeah,
be a good neighbor.
when we're up there and you're talking to my staff too, we're gonna see who represents them.
Okay.
And there's, independent people that represent, for the most part, those industries in Kern County. And hopefully we can get a hold of somebody and maybe they can start some communication with the community also.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect,
Thank you
Megan.
very much for
Good
your
seeing
time.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stacy, I'm sorry. Did you, Ms. Kuwahara, did you have some input on
Madam
that matter?
Chair, I just wanted to encourage constituents that they could probably go to the San Bernardino board meetings, speak to those board members, or reach out to the CAO of San Bernardino County to voice their concerns.
Excellent.
Good advice. Thank you, Stacy.
And get on record. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Guillen. Would you like to state your name for the record and provide your input, sir?
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Guillen, Guillen. Earlier today, I provided certified findings from the Superior Court stating that the warrant case numbers associated with these actions could not be located in the court record. This afternoon, I am submitting one additional document for the record. This document is a return warrant containing a sworn statement from Code Compliance indicating that the property was taken and retained into county custody during entry into my dwelling. I am not here regarding value or claims. My concern is strictly procedural clarity. if property was taken into custody and remains in county custody, and the related court records cannot be located, then clarification is needed regarding the authority and jurisdiction under which these actions occurred. I respectfully request internal review and continued communication so that the record could be reconciled. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Guillen.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Supervisor Parlier.
So Mike, you were here this morning too. You provided purportedly new information. County Council has already responded, I believe, on this matter, but I'll ask County Council if there's anything new that needs to be responded to further, if you'd please do that.
I do have some additional information after going over what Mr. Guillen submitted this morning. The numbers that he provided to the court are code enforcement numbers, so the court would not be able to locate those records through code enforcement numbers. There is a correlating court case number that would have been on those warrants, and that's what should have been provided to the court. And then they may be able to find the records through the court case numbers.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Madam Council. Do we have any other public comment? Looks like we have somebody coming down. Okay. Are there any other members of the public would like to speak during public comment? We have another one here. Okay, very good.
Hello, good afternoon. Sorry I wasn't here this morning.
It's okay.
Okay.
Welcome.
I have a statement to the Board of Supervisors and the County Council in regards to Mike E., citizen of Kern County. Again, my name is Thomasina Rivers. Okay, on record, County Council gave a legal answer and advice on a memo from December 8th, 2025 on a legal matter. Working with Mike, advised Mike to file a claim. And they feel there is no reliability on the county whatsoever. So I'm here to put in a statement before it's too late. Oh, come on, don't do that. That's why I need a computer. I apologize. I am raising a serious accountability concern involving Kern County agencies, specifically code enforcement, working alongside law enforcement in what appears to be a potential civil rights violation under federal law, including 42 U.S.C. SS 1983. A resident was removed from his home and arrested based on claims that warrants exist. Yet the Superior Court later indicated no valid warrants were on record, and the document provided reportedly lacked a judge's signature. As a result, he was jailed, displaced from his residence, lost his vehicle and personal property, including family keepsakes, is now missing, and his animals died in the home during his detention. When county departments participate in or enable actions like this, the county has a responsibility to investigate, ensure transparency, preserve evidence, and prevent future violations. I am asking this board directly, what oversight, accountability measures, and corrective steps will Kern County take to address this situation and protect the residents' constitutional rights? Accountability here isn't optional. It's essential to maintaining public trust and protecting the rights of every Kern County every Kern County resident. So I'm here also with a comment and that statement that I will testify to him that he has come looking for a resolution and he has not gotten one. So thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Ms. Rivers. I see other public comment here. Are there any other members of the public during public comment that will provide remarks? Okay, it looks like this is our final speaker. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Sandy Giulani, Giurlani. Like Brigitte Bardot used to say, dog abandonment never takes a vacation. We, the volunteers from Bakersfield Strays and Friends of Abandoned Dogs, have noticed a sharp increase in the number of stray dogs left abandoned in the field surrounding Bakersfield and our beautiful Kern County, California, wandering in search of food, water, and a loving hand. During the last Animal Commission meeting held last Wednesday, Mr. Nick Cullen, the director of Kern County Animal Service, also noted an increase in the dogs and cat intakes at the shelter. Each day, unfortunately, and we feed 3 times a week, whether it rains, shines, I cannot say snow, but regarding of the weather, we go in the streets and the field and feed. We face the harsh reality of abandonment, neglect, abuse, cruelty, as well as the disturbing issue of illegal breeding practices. This situation is worsening at an alarming rate, far beyond what you can understand unless you have experienced firsthand. And I would like to invite you one day, if you want to go feed with us, by all means, let us know. We would love to show you what we see in the field. In the past, we have had discussion with Supervisor Perez, and we thank you for it, regarding the possible establishment of protected land. We sincerely appreciate the generous offer, but unfortunately, we do not have the resources to maintain such a project. Lack of volunteers, unfortunately.
A lot of work.
Since our county does not have the financial means to enforce laws currently in place against those who blatantly disregard them, we humbly ask for the Board of Supervisors to create an ordinance for mandatory spay and neuter in the county, and to support the efforts of those who help all dogs and cats rather than target those people that are helping. Kern County has the opportunity to transform its image from just a location on the map to be a prominent leader in animal welfare through its proactive initiative designed to create safer environments for our animals. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your passion and all that you do. Supervisor Parlier?
Well, I was happy to be at the last meeting, the Animal Services meeting. I'm the representative for the board for that committee. I know that the request was made from the committee to bring that back, that potential ordinance. That will be reviewed, and at some point, hopefully it makes it to the Board of Supervisors. And also, I was very happy from my office to support or pledge $3,000 to help Animal Services. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, any other public comment at this time? Okay. Board member announcements or reports? Oh, you do? No, got it. Supervisor Couch, anything? Okay, we're gonna move then past board member announcements and reports and get to our last remaining item on the agenda today, which is item number 28, and it is a proposed ordinance amendment. This matter is going to be presented to the public and to the county board by Michelle Burns-Lusage, and we have a PowerPoint. I understand, and the public will get an opportunity to respond at the conclusion of staff's presentation and recommendation. Thank you. Michelle, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Board of Supervisors. Michelle Burns-Lusage, Chief General Services Officer. Before you today is a proposed ordinance amendment to Title 13, Parks, Recreational Areas, and Public Places. If enacted, this will prohibit activities in public parks and at county buildings. What it would do, it would make it unlawful for any person to provide access to food, feed, or bait to any wild animal, including but not limited to coyotes, deer, squirrels, feral cats, foxes, raccoons, skunks, or beavers, without a license or a permit granted by the county, within any public park, building, or recreational area owned, maintained, or operated by the county. What this ordinance would not do is it would not alter any existing agreements with permitted organizations. The County of Kern currently has an agreement with the Cat People, a nonprofit organization. That agreement has been in place since 1995. This ordinance would not affect that agreement. It would also not affect activities outside of public parks and county buildings. Any feeding that may occur on private property, at your churches, at your schools, that is not what this ordinance will affect. Some health and safety concerns that are involved with feeding of wild animals and feral cats can be disease transmission, aggressive behavior, dependency on humans, poor nutrition, overpopulation, ecosystem imbalance, litter, and pollution. This proposed ordinance aligns with the City of Bakersfield. In 2009, Ordinance 4597 was enacted, amending Municipal Code Section 12.56.050, adding subsection H, prohibiting the act of providing access to food to wild animals and feral cats in city parks. So finally, if enacted, this ordinance would only apply to county public parks and county buildings. I want to remind everyone that abandonment of any animal is illegal. Kern County is committed to educating the community about the harm caused by abandonment and unpermitted feeding. And again, this is just another tool in our toolbox to do that education. By working together, we can promote safer, healthier public spaces. I thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Please.
So as we stated, the purpose of the ordinance is not to punish compassionate or eliminate volunteer efforts. It is to protect wildlife, including feral cats, park visitors, and the park ecosystem through responsible management. I would like to clarify several points because I think there's a lot of misinformation. Uncoordinated feeding, while well-intentioned, creates predictable congregation points for wildlife predators and increasing the risk to cats and the public. I think it's inaccurate to suggest that prohibiting public feeding will harm wildlife. Those animals are capable of finding a food supply source naturally, and reliance on human-provided food can alter their behavior, increase disease transmission, and artificially inflate density in congregated areas. And while I'm not an expert, wildlife professionals recognize that feeding wildlife contributes to ultimately animals changing their behavior and possible euthanasia. This ordinance, what it's trying to do is prevent those outcomes. As a cat advocate, I can tell you, this amendment is equally about protecting feral cats. Uncoordinated feeding in county parks encourage abandonment by creating non-feeding locations. What we're looking is for structured permitted feeding in coordination with TNR efforts, which allows for better oversight and risk management. So what this ordinance doesn't do is it does not prohibit organized permitted care. It simply ensures that feeding occurs with a management framework. TNR programs are more effective when they're structured and documented. A permitting process does not prevent trapping, and it ensures that efforts align with park management and public safety. The advocates are correct. Abandonment is a problem. Addressing abandonment and permitting feeding are not mutually exclusive. Knowing feeding sites can unintentionally encourage further abandonment. Both enforcement against abandonment and permitted feeding are necessary components of a comprehensive solution. There have been information that other cities or the city of Bakersfield does not enforce their ordinance, and whether or not a jurisdiction actively enforces a similar ordinance does not determine the validity or the necessity of the ordinance. The county has an obligation to manage public facilities in a manner that minimizes risk and protects the environment. The ordinance does not remove public enjoyment of parks, as it's been said. It balances enjoyment with the responsibilities that we have as public employees. County parks are recreational spaces that contain sensitive wildlife, and responsible management ensures spaces remain safe for everyone. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask also, what is the permit process like? What is the cost and permit process? Because this is not permitted without a permit. What is that like?
There is no cost. We have agreements, as we mentioned, with the cat people. That is, it has certain requirements that they have to meet, but there is no cost.
Oh, I see. That's helpful. Thank you so much. Okay, now is the time that we have allotted for public comment. Is our clock working? It is working now. Oh, marvelous. It was not working this morning. So we're going to set, a 2-minute time limit for speaking for the public. I understand we have lots of folks here that are very passionate. We're eager to hear from you and provide input on this matter. So now would be the time to please come forward. Please state and spell your name for the record, and we want to hear from you. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair and board members. My name is Annette Given, spelled A-N-N-E-T-T-E-G-I-V-E-N. I respectfully oppose the proposed amendment prohibiting the feeding of cats at county parks and facilities without a permit. First, although the ordinance is said to align with the City of Bakersfield, senior city staff have acknowledged their ordinance is not being enforced, suggesting it's unnecessary. Second, while the county's agreement with the cat people allows feeding at designated locations in Hart Park, cats remain at additional sites where location efforts have repeatedly failed. Expanding authorized feeding areas in the agreement would reduce the need for public involvement and better protect the cats from predators and harm. Claims regarding health, safety, wildlife harm, and environmental damage are unsupported. Feeding cats has not increased disease, aggression, overpopulation, or ecosystem imbalance. Wildlife will continue to exist at the park regardless of this amended ordinance. And park visitors, not cat feeders, are primarily the source of litter and infrastructure damage. In fact, volunteers often clean up trash and assist with pest control through responsible feeding and TNR, which is performed by the public with some help from the cat people. The proposed permit requirement is unclear, likely restrictive, and unnecessary. Feeding is essential to gain cats' trust for TNR, reunification with owners, and rehoming, especially for recently abandoned non-feral cats and kittens. A permit process would only delay and deter these efforts. The real issue at Hart Park is abandonment, not feeding, and enforcement and funding should be focused there. In conclusion, this amendment would unnecessarily restrict the public's longstanding compassionate efforts without solving the underlying problem, which is abandonment. In addition, it would deny the public of their joy, happiness, and existing right and freedom to feed the cats. Therefore, I respectfully request your board remove all references to cats from the proposed ordinance amendment, and references to wildlife are already addressed under state code, so they should be removed as well since they are duplicative and unnecessary. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Annette. Okay, please come forward. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Chairman of the Board and board members. My name is Selena Beltran, S-A-L-I-N-A-B-E-L-T-R-A-N. I am here today to oppose the proposed amendment ordinance making it unlawful to feed cats at county parks and county-owned and maintenance building without a permit. The following are my comments. With regards to health and safety concerns, there will always be some risk in parks, and banning the feeding of cats will not eliminate that risk. The raccoons are healthy now because of the cat feeding. Currently, raccoons are not aggressive toward the public. They primarily seek out the cat food and have not harmed visitors or feeders. A feeding ban could make raccoons more aggressive in searching for food and potentially lead to worse outcomes, including eating cats. Wildlife should always be approached with caution, and children should be supervised and taught to avoid raccoons just as they would with coyotes or bobcats. Leftover food does not create additional rodent or insect problems because raccoons, skunks, and possums consume it. These animals also help control the rodent population, and the county should be thankful for that. With regard to harm wildlife, there is no evidence of raccoon overpopulation linked to feeding cats. Populations fluctuate naturally. Park visitors unintentionally leave food waste, which cannot realistically be prevented. Cat food is not causing malnutrition. There is also no demonstrated environmental damage, increased disease, or suffering caused by feeding cats. Feeding cats does not eliminate their natural hunting instincts, and they continue to prey on rodents. These concerns appear to support the county's effort to prohibit public feeding rather than reflect actual conditions. In conclusion, I respectfully request your board remove all reference to the wording of cats from the proposed amended ordinance. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you, please don't applaud during the board session. We have this issue raised on numerous occasions, and we always are consistent about please keeping our board chambers calm and without unnecessary emotion and disruption. So I am very sorry about that, but that is a policy that we seek to enforce uniformly. So I appreciate your consideration of that. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairman of the Board and Board members. My name is Donna Panashevitz, P-A-N-A-S-I-E-W-I-C-Z. I'm here today to oppose the proposed amended ordinance making it unlawful to feed cats at county parks and county-owned and maintained buildings without a permit. The following are my comments. With regard to environmental damage, there is no ecosystem imbalance caused by feeding the cats. Wildlife has always been present in the park and naturally gathers food when it's available. Prohibiting public feeding would not change wildlife concentration, as authorized feeding areas and organized feeders would continue their efforts. Park visitors likely cause more environmental harm than feeding cats, because Hart Park is a park, not a wildlife or nature preserve. Regarding pollution and litter, cat food does not remain overnight and thereby create a pest control problem. Feeders often clean up trash left by other visitors. Feeding activities do not create pollution and may actually reduce it. With regards to increased maintenance and costs, feeders do not damage infrastructure such as irrigation or landscaping. Most damage results from general public use, including damage due to public parking or driving over sprinklers and defaming public buildings. Will the county next prohibit public picnicking since they walk along the river trails and might damage the ecosystem or play music, which might disturb wildlife? Because no cat food remains by morning and feeders pick up trash left by the others, maintenance costs are not increased but decreased. Cats and wildlife aid in pest control rather than create problems. The county does not incur costs for TNR efforts, as these are handled by volunteers. Concerns about animal waste are minimal, as it is biodegradable and volunteers would assist with cleanup if necessary. The county may consider requesting exemption from the Department of Fish and Wildlife to relocate raccoons from Hart Park to other county property if overpopulation is a concern. In conclusion, I respectfully request your board remove all references to wording of cats from the proposed amended ordinance. Thank you. I do have a pamphlet that I would like for you to share. May I also leave 2 exhibits?
People are complaining that they can't hear, so I want to know, can everybody hear me clearly? Okay. Where is the mic? Right there? To your left. Okay, thanks. I'm here, Kathleen Collins, District 3, to speak in opposition to item 28, also called the Kern County Animal Starvation Directive. My opposition is based on state preemption and criminal neglect. Under California Penal Code 597 parentheses B, because if it's just 597B, you're going to get into cockfights. So it's 597 parentheses B, which states it is a state crime to deprive any animal of necessary sustenance. Because feral and stray cats depend on people for food, withholding that food, i.e., depriving any animal of necessary sustenance, now stands as a clear act of criminal neglect under the state's 2026 welfare standards. It is even now considered to be a prosecutable offense for neglecting a cat that depends on you for food. A Kern County ordinance cannot legally order people to violate the state penal code. The state of California has been very clear about the alternative practice. They want to see county adopt TRN, which is the trap, neuter, return on feral animals, and one of my exhibits addresses that. I ask the board to follow Penal Code Section 597 parentheses small b and reject item 28, an ordinance repugnant to controlling statutory and decisional law. If the ordinance is enacted, judicial review thereof will be sought by the means of a petition for a writ of administrative mandamus. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, welcome.
Hello, my name is Lisa Rigdon, Lisa Rigdon.
Hi, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair of the Board and board members. I'm here today to oppose the proposed amendment ordinance making it unlawful to feed cats at county parks and county-owned and maintained buildings without a permit. With regards to the legal and policy concerns, the City of Bakersfield does not enforce prohibition on feeding cats, indicating it does not view the practice as a public health and safety or environmental risk. The county should not assume otherwise. To my knowledge, there have been no reported injuries or property damage linked to feeding cats or wildlife at the park. As a public park, inherent risks exist, but feeding cats has not been shown to create any additional danger. With regard to permit required for feeding cats, requiring a permit would unnecessarily restrict the public's existing freedom to feed cats with unclear criteria for approval and the likelihood of denial or area limitations. Restricting feeding would leave cats in other parts of the park without care. Feeding is essential. Feeding is essential to gaining cats' trust, trapping them, rehoming them, reuniting them with their owners, and preventing interference from other wildlife while trapping. These efforts have long been conducted without permits, and adding the requirement for one would delay rescue and population control efforts, particularly for tame cats and kittens that need quick intervention. Feeding is often necessary to scan for microchips and confirm ownership. Prohibiting feeding would undermine volunteer efforts that can help reduce the cat population. The amended ordinance does not clearly address other wildlife such as ducks, geese, peacocks, and other birds. Prohibiting feeding in these cases would restrict public enjoyment and activities currently valued by the community and organizations such as the Audubon Society. The core issue at Hart Park is the abandonment of cats. Greater enforcement and resources should focus on identifying and penalizing those abandoning these animals rather than penalizing volunteers who feed and assist in maintaining the cat population. In conclusion, I respectfully request your board to remove all references to the wording of cats from the proposed amended ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your passion and your heart. You're very sweet. Thank you. Hello and welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jane Pruitt, P-R-U-E-T-T. I have been a feeder at my local county park for over 15 years. In that time, I have trapped and neutered over 200 cats in that park. I have rescued and rehomed kittens in that park. I have had many sick, wounded, shot, feline leukemia cats that I have had to trap and have euthanized. And I do this with my own money and time. My husband just loves that. I do this because it's the right thing to do. I do this because it's the responsible thing to do. These cats are our community cats. They are not just strays. They belong to all of us. I want to give some perspective. I just returned from ancient Ephesus in Turkey, where hundreds of cats roam those ancient ruins, and they are well cared for, and they belong to everyone, yet no one. These cats are cared for, fixed, watched over by staff and the community there. Likewise, in the Roman Colosseum, over 200 cats live there. They have little doors in their gates for them.
Are they philosophical too?
Yeah, very philosophical.
I suspect they are.
They are protected as official city cats since 2001. This is a philosophy embraced by much older and wiser cultures than that of Kern County. And maybe we need to pay attention to that. In a fast-paced world, our community cats offer a reminder of the power of compassion, but paired with responsible stewardship. Like it or not, our community is so much better off when cats are being cared for and monitored rather than being ignored and starved.
Jane, can I ask you to bring your comments to a close? We're 30 seconds over.
I'm there.
Okay.
Okay, this
Thank
problem
you.
isn't going away. It was caused by humans, and it is our responsibility to fix. I will end it by saying Leonardo da Vinci said, "The smallest feline is a masterpiece." So maybe we should not disagree with that.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name's Katie Pruitt. Jane is
Katie.
my mother.
Goodness.
K-A-T-I-E-P-R-U-E-T-T. Like she said, our family has been involved in our community county park for 15 years. And I'm here more on behalf of the people who are working independently, that is not within a nonprofit organization, who are doing this out of their own pocket largely, as vouchers and other support is few and far between for people like us. A couple of comments. The people here are typically very good people. The people who go out and do stuff like this, they pick up the garbage. Everyone here is going to say that. And then regarding the working with our parks and our communities and trying to coordinate has proved difficult because of moving goalposts, changing leadership. At one point, we were asked to feed up off the ground, and so my father built structures that we could feed on to prevent skunks and other wildlife from getting into that food. And after a change of leadership, these were taken down, and this was no longer allowed because they didn't want this to be, out there, even though we were very discreet and these were placed in discreet places. All of us can agree that feeding without spaying is not responsible, but the problem with this ordinance is there's no distinction between those two things. Those things go hand in hand. We all agree on that. And it works against what everyone here agrees on, this problem in Bakersfield. My mom has fixed hundreds of cats and maintains more than one colony in our area. And she's been harassed and yelled at. Everybody here knows what that is like by people. But what I will say, and what is really cool, is after we talk to these people and we tell them, hey, look around, see the tipped ears on these cats, and you will see the impact that we're making in this community. We're often left with support and thanks. And really, this is an awareness issue because we are doing good work out there and we are doing meaningful work out there. But we're met with resistance at every turn because of the optics of it. People don't know what we're doing out there. And so we get yelled at and we get harassed and we get issues like this, which bring us down here today.
Can you please wrap up?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's pretty much all. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
How precious. I see the apple didn't fall far from the tree. That is just so beautiful. Thank you for your family, multi-generational family work. It's really something. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. My name is Carol Lair. I'm a volunteer with the Cat People, and I'm coordinator for the Hart Park Volunteers and Cats. And a number of people have expressed concerns to me about the park cats. Cat People has been licensed and permitted by the county for many years to manage the park cats. We're an all-volunteer 501c3 organization, and we receive no government funding. Park cats are fed every day, monitored for illness or injury. Friendly ones are taken for adoption, either to animal services or to our sanctuary. Feral cats are trapped and neutered, and this will not change. There is a basic issue regarding unwanted animals in Kern County. There is a prevalent community attitude that any unwanted animal can just be abandoned wherever. Cats are abandoned nearly daily at the park, and there is not a cat problem, we have a people problem. Over the past 6 years, as I was looking back, 980 cats have been removed from the park. 212 other animals besides cats have been abandoned, including 166 dogs, and various kinds of chickens and rabbits and guinea pigs, and even a monitor lizard was abandoned at the park. So how to address this? First, I think there has to be a big community-wide campaign in English and Spanish to educate and inform the public that it is illegal and inhumane to abandon any animal. A very serious effort needs to be made to alter the public's attitude toward animals in general. And this is critically important. Second, every effort must be made to catch and vigorously prosecute animal dumpers. Increased ranger presence is, of course, very important.
Carol, I'm so sorry. We're getting into 3 minutes here. Can you bring your remarks to a close, please?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you bring your remarks to a close, please? I don't know if you can hear the bell. It's chiming.
Okay, I've got just a couple more things.
Okay.
Increased ranger presence is very important. Cameras could be a big help also. The public needs to be strongly invited and encouraged to partner with the county, and if they see something suspicious, to say something, and make it clear through the media and signage how to report. The county doesn't want cats at the park, and neither do we. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you. Welcome, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Ray Shabandarian, last name is spelled Shabandarian. Thank you for taking the time to hear our concerns. I'm here to oppose what's being set forth in regards to the cats in specific. The way the language is written is the scope is too wide, and it seems like it's really targeting the cat portion of the wildlife. And I myself, I'm a volunteer, work extensively and going out and monitoring in regards to what's happening, what to do. And part of the solution I want to propose is, rather than creating a division with the people who care and want to contribute and help, to listen to some of the ideas and suggestions they may have in regards to increasing awareness. And one thing that I want to point out to is the Adopt a Park program, which was initiated a few years back. And similar to that, have these nice folks that are here to be able to, they are volunteering their time and resources to be able to adopt a park. The permitting part of it seems like there's costs associated to it. I know that was clarified earlier, but it just seems like it's more of an obstacle rather than adopting a park. And really bringing everyone together to work with the solution, because I can tell you from my firsthand experience, knowing the population that's there, working with them and taking them and spending our own time and resources to ensure that they're spayed and neutered, that we care for them, the population has reduced rather than increased. And much like the previous comments that have been made, when we are there, we contribute to the park. The bowls and water, everything is replenished and cleaned. So it's not there that it causes, because obviously the people that are caring for them, they're not going to contribute to the negative part. I do hear the chime, so I want to stop there, but thank you for your time.
Thank you for your volunteering and your time and helping us manage this issue. It's so much appreciated. You're part of a great community, obviously. Hello, come on down, please. Please state and spell your name for the record, and welcome.
Hi, my name's Michelle Franzen, and good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the board. I am here as a Kern County resident. My family has been involved in cat rescue and community cat management in the Tehachapi area for decades now. Cats have been dumped at my front door since I was in high school because people knew that we would take care of them. My mom is still rescuing abandoned cats at our local park at least every month. She asked me to speak with you all today. I am here to respectfully oppose this ordinance as drafted and to suggest policy alternatives that may better achieve the stated goals. The staff report identifies concerns related to public health, wildlife impact, infrastructure damage, and enforcement costs. However, a zero-tolerance feeding prohibition enforced through escalating fines addresses symptoms rather than underlying causes. Peer-reviewed research and municipal case studies consistently show that feeding bans without an accompanied structured population management strategy do not reduce feral cat numbers. When feeding becomes unlawful, colonies disperse. Dispersals increases breeding rates, complicates monitoring, and makes vaccination and sterilization efforts less effective. The net result is often population destabilization rather than reduction. If the county's objective is long-term population control and reduce public health risks, there are evidence-based strategies that could be implemented, such as formalized trap, neuter, return programs tied to mandatory sterilization and rabies vaccinations, a caregiver registration program requiring feeding schedules and sanitation standards, data collection metrics to measure colony stabilization and population decline over time, partnerships with local rescue organizations for that oversight and data collection, and adoption programs for the friendly cats and the kittens. These models have been implemented in numerous jurisdictions and have demonstrated measurable reductions in intake and euthanasia rates, as well as lowering long-term municipal expenditures. This approach would also leverage volunteer stabilization efforts instead of displacing them. I respectfully request the board consider amending the ordinance to incorporate a managed colony framework. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Hey, please come state and spell your name for the record, please.
Hi,
Thank you
good
so
afternoon.
much. Hi.
My name is Jennifer Myers, last name is Myers, and I'm a local independent cat rescuer and cat trapper. I have a BS in zoology and my MS is in anthrozoology. Specifically, my thesis in grad school focused on community management of stray animals worldwide. And time again through my research, I found that the only thing that is effective in controlling stray animal populations is through concentrated TNR worldwide. That's repeated time and time again. TNR cannot be successful if the animals are not being fed. Although the county has deemed feral cats as free roaming and categorized them as wild animals, they are specifically not wildlife. They are domesticated cats who are unsocialized, but they still are dependent upon people for survival. The approval of this ordinance would be a death sentence for these cats. Furthermore, it would be an insult to the hundreds of community volunteers who have spent years and their own money feeding and fixing these animals, then to be told simply to walk away from them and watch them starve to death. Your consideration of this ordinance, in my opinion, is a betrayal of the very constituents you promised to serve. And Supervisor Flores, last night on the local news, you claimed that feeding community cats does them a disservice because it encourages people to dump them. I disagree with that. I want to assure you that people don't dump animals because they see Good Samaritans feeding them. They dump them because they don't care about them and they want it to be somebody else's problem. That's why they're dumped. They are dumped in places where there are not feeders, as Bakersfield Strays can attest to. They go out to find those animals to feed them so they don't starve to death.
I'll address you in my comments.
That's fine. The solution here is not to starve animals, but to enforce the laws that are already in place, go after those who violate the laws, but don't criminalize the people who are trying to fix a problem of which they did not create, fund more spay and neuter initiatives, promote education, pour into resources for our community so this doesn't continue to happen. Let us lead with compassion in our county so that we may one day be a model for other counties about what real animal population management looks like. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your passion. Please come on down. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Christy Cady, C-A-D-Y. I don't know why we're here, why the cats are even on this list. If you think for 1 second all these beautiful people back here are going to follow these, they're going to continue to feed. They're not going to let them starve. And I sure in the hell ain't. So I will not follow this. And it's sad that you guys are doing this to feral cats and these loving people.
Thank you, ma'am. Please come on down and state and spell your name for the record. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name's Dixie Walters, Dixie-Walters. I didn't have anything prepared. I just kind of came down to see if I could provide support. I do want to say I have a little different perspective. In 2000, I started my own version of a TNR program out at the Lerdo jail facilities where cats were dumped on a regular, sometimes by employees. I spent almost 25 years at the sheriff's department, fought tooth and nail against administration, against every barrier you could imagine, and finally was given the right to create an actual structured TNR program. So the grounds are huge, and there's trash everywhere. So the cats became a problem. They were very sick cats, lots of problems. So I worked hand in hand with KCAS for many years. Nick Cullen and I go way back. I was able to put together a little team, and since 2000, at least 200 cats. I had to generate reports monthly to my administration. I had to do jump through a lot of hoops, which was fine because we were doing the right thing. So I still believe in that. If this passes, my team that I left behind, I retired in 2023. The team I left behind that still does the work and I still support financially will be, they're just waiting for the right wording so they can say, you can't feed anymore. It makes a difference to feed. And I can tell you, people don't change behaviors unless there's a consequence. The people doing the abandoning across Kern County need to have consequences, not the people who are taking care of those that were abandoned. It's the people that are the problem. The cat didn't just magically appear. The cat was dumped, then the cat had kittens, and then the kittens had kittens, and that's why we're here. So we are doing TNR. We've been doing TNR for decades. These are your experts out here. Talk to these people and come up with a better plan than a Google search on how to shut down cats. That's my opinion.
Thank you, ma'am. Please, hello there. Please come on down, state your name, and spell it for the record, please.
My name is Cindy Wade, CINDIWADE. I don't come with a script. I shoot from the hip, so you're just going to have to hear how I present myself.
No problem.
First of all, I looked at the list of the animals. Cats should not have been on that list. They were not part of the wildlife that was there. That they became part of it because somebody dumped them there. But I want to introduce myself in another way. Because of the problem that we have, and I've been on the east side working for 50 years with Bethany Ministry and all what we did with our men's homes and everything, I seen the carnage beyond comprehension. It made my job very difficult to drive to work and to see the dead dogs and cats and all of the ferals and things that were going on. It affected me. But as working for our church, and actually a contractor that redid the whole to-home theater and all the men's homes for the many years, I jumped in to say, what can I do? Because I hate seeing these kind of problems. I hate problems for people, but I hate problems for animals as well. So I incorporated rescue into the men's home and taught them how to be responsible pet owners. Then I started teaching. I was the director of a church. I taught the children. The success of what changed within their lives, how it affected everything. But I didn't stop there because I knew it couldn't just be there. So I purchased the building there at 601 Nile. That was the old Calvary Baptist Church built in 1928. And I transforming it into a castle. And it's going to become a community building that advocates for the well-being of animals, which I want to be there forevermore. But it's going to be an education center for children. I've talked to the school districts. They'll send those children on a field trip, and they will learn how to be responsible pet owners. I can't go into all those households. But if I get me 30,000, 40,000 kids that I can teach, and they go teach their family and their friends, this can spread and make a difference. And that's what we need to focus on, because it is a people problem. It's been a people problem, and and we also have a shelter problem, because now they're not taking healthy cats anymore. When I've been there, I've seen it. Walk in with a 3-week-old kitten that's been abandoned and being told, go put it back where you found it. Somebody says, I have to find a place, and I can't. Open your front door and let them out. How come you think it's escalated to this level? Is because we're not addressing the core of the problem. I'm willing to sacrifice everything I have, all my finances, all my time. I'm willing to do this. But let's do it collectively, because I'm just one person.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ma'am, can you come down and state and spell your name for the record, please?
Hello, my name's Deborah Blanco, DeborahBlanco. These guys are amazing, I gotta tell you.
Clearly.
One thing that has bothered me, though, is the board letter citing environmental damages as a reason to stop feeding the feral cats. Then the board letter also asks you to waive CEQA. Makes no sense. So, it's either one or the other, correct? I mean, there have been no empirical evidence, nothing showing that reducing or stopping feeding of cats is going to solve anything. It's absurd, absolutely. And all the letter also talks about disease transmission. What happens when these cats scatter from their colonies? We don't know where to trap them. They're going to not only reproduce, they're not going to get fixed, and they're not going to get vaccinated, so they're going to spread disease. So that's another inconsistency in the board letter. And that, the other problem I see is everyone that we've seen online over the past week and a half thinks that this is going to cover all of Kern County. Doesn't matter whether it does or not, that's what they think. So these people who call us or reach out to us for help, are they going to get a permit so that they can feed 4 or 5 nights in a row so we can go and trap that cat? You're asking, it's just too much, you guys. It just doesn't make any common sense.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can you guys come on down and you can stand closer to the podium? We can get through this comment period.
Get next to the mic.
Hello. Good afternoon and welcome.
I have a few things for you guys.
Okay.
I have a petition list of signatures and fact sheets. Members of the board, my name is Holly Porter, Hollie Porter. I'm representing the Hart Park Cats, cat people, volunteers, and rescuers. I'm here to respectfully request that domestic cats, feral or otherwise, be exempt from the proposed ordinance banning feeding at county parks without a permit. Your enforcement priorities are fundamentally misplaced. Over the last year, illegal cat abandonment at Hart Park has drastically increased, with over 100 abandoned cats in just the last 3 months. These are not wild animals, they were people's pets. Harassing and threatening volunteers with fines while choosing to ignore illegal animal abandonment completely misses the root problem. It is also a glaring double standard that the public can freely feed peacocks and waterfowl while cats are singled out. Decades of biological research prove feeding bans, sorry, I'm nervous.
It's okay.
Decades of biological research prove feeding bans do not work. Starvation policies trigger the vacuum effect. A 2015 study in wildlife research found that removing cats causes new unsterilized cats to flood the empty territory, surging local populations by up to 211%. Critically, your proposed ordinance explicitly bans bait. You cannot humanely trap a cat without food bait. Therefore, this is a de facto ban on trap, neuter, return, which a University of Central Florida study proved is the only method that actually works, reducing free roaming populations by 66%. Finally, Hart Park is a developed recreational facility, not a protected nature preserve. An Ohio State University study found that community cats actively avoid deep natural habitats. Additionally, CDC data confirms cats pose virtually no public health risks. In reality, keeping managed cats in the park provides free natural pest deterrence. As studies show, rodents
Holly.
actively avoid areas. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Actively avoid areas patrolled by cats. I have provided each of you with a fact sheet detailing this data, along with a petition signed by 1,833 Kern County residents, but it actually had a total of 2,421 and rising. These were from members of the county who strongly oppose this ordinance. We ask you to remove cats from this amendment, enforce abandonment laws, and partner with your volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Do we have any other speakers? Please come down. Good afternoon, welcome.
My name's Gerald Burgess. I didn't come here to speak today, but I'm going to speak because I've listened to these ladies. You don't resolve the problem by making another law. That's not going to resolve it. They're doing their best, but what it does do, and what I'm hearing it's going to do, is cause starvation. That's wrong. All of you know that it's wrong. I have rescued 10 cats in my house. I got 4 dogs and 10 cats. Keep me busy all the time. For an old guy, that's great. But I'm telling you, they all have personalities. And they were all rescued. And I'll tell you, you can't do what they're saying to do. It's wrong. And I'll stand up for these ladies. Just remember, don't make them mad.
Oh, I'm getting that impression. You better believe it.
I'm not going to use my 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thanks for making us laugh, too. We needed that. Please come on down. There's no need to wait. We're just...
Hi, my name is Gail Fieldgrove, like a field of flowers and a grove of trees. I had no intentions of speaking today. I have been with Kern Humane Society. This is my 52nd year of volunteering.
Oh
I like to say I started when I was 5, but I was a bit older than that. My job, as with the other volunteers in the organization, is to run a thrift shop. We're all volunteers, no money, no tax money ever. I know we've probably written over $2 million worth of vouchers to help people spay and neuter their animals.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. My main concern is these people are your army. These are not your enemy. These people need to be held up and thanked. And you cannot do this. People will come in on a Saturday and ask for 5, 6, 7 vouchers that they are paying the remainder out of their own pockets. They could not get all these vouchers. They wouldn't get all these vouchers if they didn't have the cats in hand. And in order for them to get the cats in hand, they have to go out and rescue. And they are dedicated people.
Clearly.
And they need to be commended. So I oppose this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Stacy Augustin, S-T-A-C-E-Y, August, like the month August with an S-O-N. I didn't come prepared either, but I do want to say that the county owes such a debt of gratitude to all these people here. I know a lot of them, and some of them won't come up to speak. I've come to board meetings before, like 25, I've been here since 1986, and it's always been a problem, the pet overpopulation problem. And we need to be going after those that are dumping animals, not those that are trying to keep the numbers down. There would be a heck of a lot more feral cats everywhere if these people weren't doing what they're doing, volunteering their time and their emotion, their money. One group is transporting cats to Canada. They want cats up there, and our county just keeps producing them for this. It's ridiculous. It's time to get another plan in place. And while I'm up here, I do want to thank Supervisor Perez and Supervisor Couch, because I know you've put on some spay-neuter clinics. So I do appreciate that.
Thank you.
But we need to be supporting these people and
We need a lot
thanking
more.
them. Because I don't think anybody's going to stop feeding. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Carol Ewing, E-W-I-N-G. I wasn't going to speak today, but the brochure that was handed out to you earlier, the Alley Cat Allies, has a website on the back of the brochure that addresses a lot of the issues that we are facing here in this county as well. And I wanted to point out that over the last 15 years, I have spayed and neutered, done the TNR program for 1,540 cats.
My goodness.
And without Critters Without Litters being helped in our county and city program, having this in your budget has been very, very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
Having a hard time walking. Good afternoon. My name is Diane Ibarra, and I too didn't have any notes prepared, but just from listening to everybody, I just wanted to say just a couple of quick comments. There's reference here as to this ban being referred to as a toolkit within the county's hands. This is not a toolkit. Your toolkit is out there, plus all the other hundreds of feeders and TNR people that are doing this job, okay? I have been working with Kern County, the Kern County Shelter and the city for many, many years now, and it breaks my heart because I'm not from this county originally, when we're referenced as the dumping ground, and oh, Kern County is horrible to animals. Why can't we do better? I don't understand why we can't do better. There's counties throughout the country that have taken care of this problem. Feeding bans are proven by statistics. If you look them up, they don't work. The only thing that works is TNR. So why isn't this county and the city and every person in this government that we have voted for not helping support the TNR? It's not that hard. We last year transported, we're a very small group. I've been working independently for many years. We just received our 501c yesterday because I wanted to make it legitimate and then be able to apply for grants. But my small group is composed of 7 people. We don't take money from anybody. We don't get donations because we legally can't. So everything's out of pocket, our resources. Last year alone, we transported to Canada to a good rescue friend of mine that I've known for 20 years, 326 cats and 58 dogs. We now have a dog rescue also that I've met personally that we're working with who takes the dogs out of the county, directly from the county shelter. We just transported 14 last Saturday. Once a month we do this, plus all the TNR that we do in the process. If we can do this without any financial support, why can't the county and the city do this? Why can't they support everybody else that's out here doing this for free? Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Looks like we've come to the end of our public speaking, and whoa, did we get an earful from people who I know and I've worked with for a decade and a half now in the spay and neuter world. And yeah, I think you guys are such righteous soldiers here in Kern County, and I really do appreciate you, your heart, your passion, and at what you do for, our otherwise pretty helpless creatures that, are completely unique, completely their own little characters, every single one of them. And it's really nice to know there's so many people who get that and see that. And so thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. We're going to turn to my colleagues now for their comments, questions, and action. I understand that we need a 4/5 vote today to pass this ordinance. Is that correct, County Council? If you would mind just weighing in quick, just briefly, yes or no?
No, this is just a majority vote.
Just a majority. We do not need a 4/5 vote.
Yeah, we do not need a 4/5 vote.
Understood. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. I was mistaken about that. Okay, so who would like to begin? Who would like to first weigh in? I know Supervisor Flores, there you are.
Yeah, I might weigh in a couple of times, but I just want to kick it off and start. I want to thank General Services, whose county parks is under your purview. Thank you, staff, for taking a look at this. I also want to thank the public that came out passionately, and I understand your passion because you love animals, we love animals, I love animals, and that's what's driving this, is to protect animals, to protect the environment, to protect parks. And so I kind of want to before I want to pivot back to what this ordinance is intended and what it is and what it isn't, because somehow it's been reframed as a ban on feeding cats. This is not what this is about. This is about not feeding wildlife. Not feed wildlife. This is in practice with the city of Bakersfield, with federal parks, with state parks, with the California Fish and Game. This is all, you can look it up, Google it yourself, don't take my word. No one is asking to feed raccoons. No one is asking to feed kibble to coyotes. No one is asking to feed the squirrels. That is not, they did not grow up on that diet. That's not natural. That's actually harmful. You can look at best practice. So this is really addressing wildlife. And so if you look, I can talk about stuff all over the district. This is more than Hart Park. This is more than cats. This is erosion on the Panorama Bluffs with the out-of-control squirrel population due to feeding and other things. There's holes in the ground. There's landscaping issues. There's enormous erosion into the Panorama Vista Preserve. And so this first and foremost is a prohibition on the feeding of wildlife. And so wildlife knows how to take care of wildlife, hence the word wild. They're not domesticated. It's not predicated on human feeding and practice. And they're gonna do fine themselves. But when you start feeding wildlife, that's what disrupts the natural balance. But also, I want to thank the cat people. I want to thank Carol Lair, my appointment to the Parks and Rec Commission. She's doing a phenomenal job, and I see the work that she and the cat people do at Hart Park specifically. I see the stats on a weekly basis. I see the impact. I agree. TNR is the best. That is the best approach for helping cats. I see the death reports. I see the wildlife kills. I see all of this, and it is sad and it is heartbreaking. But I want to reassure the public, because so many times people have taken the mic and on social media and they say this is a ban on cat feeding. I want to reassure everyone, this is not a ban on cat feeding. It is not a ban on cat feeding. We have 9 permitted stations. The cat people are doing the feeding. They are feeding. I can bring them up and they can attest to that. They are feeding. We have 9 stations, 9. They are feeding. We're not banning that. This whole focus is on raccoons. I've had incidents at the Nature Center. We have a lot of traffic. We have students. We have Boy Scouts. We have people from the public. People are feeding raccoons. We have it on video. We have pictures. One of our muralists who is painting the standpipes, doing historic preservation and artwork, she was surrounded by raccoons. Raccoons can be dangerous. Fortunately, there was no incident here. There was an incident at Calm with a UFC fighter a couple years ago or many years ago where he ended up in the hospital by a raccoon attack. And so it's this intersection of feeding wildlife, traffic at Hart Park. Hart Park is not a cat sanctuary. It's a public park. There was a, let me get the name here. Ms. Myers made a comment about this.
Yes.
So if you look at all the parks in the county inventory, 40 plus, if you look at all the city parks where there's not feeding, dumping is minimal, if not non-existent. So here, the number one park with the most dumping, incidentally, has the most feeding. So, I stand by my comments. But anyway, well,
guys,
trust me, no other park has more cats than Hart Park. That's not a lie. That's true. But I'm not here.
Mr. Supervisor Flores,
yeah,
please.
Yeah.
Can I just ask the public, please?
Okay, what?
Okay, fair enough, but we've got to have order in these chambers, please. And thank you, I appreciate.
He can sit there and just lie.
Debbie, stay. Please stay. Please stay. 2 minutes.
I don't want to hear him anymore. Yeah, is his 2 minutes up?
No, my 2 minutes, it just started. My 2 minutes is not up.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, the supervisors can talk at length and to get their ideas out, and so other supervisors will be
So,
allowed
I
to
mean,
speak as well. But
Again,
Supervisor?
TNR that's the best practice. I stand by my comments that there's more cats dumped at Hart Park than any other park in the county. If you disagree, show me the information, I'll entertain it. But anyway, back to the ordinance. This is about wildlife. And, back to Carol Lair, she did a wonderful post on clearing up the misinformation, and this is her words, and I want to be respectful of her. But it sends a powerful message. She said, there is a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation about the proposed ordinance. So would like to clarify the information about Hart Park cats. The Cat People has been licensed and permitted to manage the cats at Hart Park for many years, and that will continue. We feed the cats every day, monitor them for illnesses or injuries, take friendly cats for adoption, and trap and neuter the feral cats. We love the cats, and we will continue to care for them. And I stand by that. I commend that. I'm going to assist that. We're going to do everything we can to continue that. But we're not talking about, that's not a ban. That's sustaining that approach, that effective approach. The statistics will continue on a weekly basis. I've supported the Cat People in the future. I've done TNR events with Critters Without Litters. The County of Kern has done $1 million of trap, neuter, and release funds last budget cycle. I hope to continue that in this budget cycle. And so, again, for me, this is the lens of wildlife. I don't think it's healthy to feed wildlife, and that's the impetus for this ordinance as I read it. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, and we heard you loud and clear. Those are just some of my thoughts at the moment, so thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Flores. Thank you so much for your thorough explanation for your position. I'm going to suggest that we consider, that my colleagues consider putting this matter off so that we can have some discussions about how to address the concerns of what we see here. If we're open to that, Supervisor Flores, and I would be, and I would love to participate in that if appropriate. Supervisor Couch and I launched spay and neuter for the first time, really aggressive mobile spay and neuter back on our first year on the Board of Supervisors back in 2013. And we have fought like hell to continue to fund this operation because I believe wholeheartedly it is the solution. We have to do it aggressively. We need to get more funds, more grants, more opportunities to do spay and neuter. But I also hear from the crowd today who I believe, because of those experiences that I had, we used to meet literally every Friday in our office as we built synergy and energy, Liz Keogh and others that were very passionate about these subject matters. I realized I knew almost nothing about it, still know very little. I rely on Nick and of course the experts such as the Army that is presented here today. And so I trust you, I trust your perspective, I trust when you say that you feel put out, shut out, and that you feel that this is not the right approach. So I want to just suggest that we perhaps take some time and have some more conversations around how we can more appropriately build a consensus and a movement and opportunity moving forward. And I would, offer myself for that work, but I want to hear, of course, from my colleagues about that. But I appreciate where Supervisor Flores is coming from as well. That's his a baby of his in the 3rd District for some time, and I know they care very much about these matters. But I don't like what I'm feeling from the crowd from their government today. I don't want to be a part of that because I believe that this is your government, number one, and number two, you're the experts. I believe that wholeheartedly, but I believe there's good faith effort happening here, but I just believe that we need a better approach moving forward. So I just want to put that out there for my colleagues. I want to hear from you too, of course, and get gauge where you are and see how best you think we can proceed. Supervisor Couch, you're an idea man.
I knew you were going to do that.
Good. We've been at this a while.
I also appreciate where the impetus or the desire to do something. I think there needs to be some sort of regulation about how this is approached in county parks and facilities. I wasn't really aware, Supervisor Flores, of the, until recently, of the problem at I call it Panorama Park, but what is it, what is it called?
Panorama Park.
Okay.
Bluffs.
With squirrels and other, I wasn't aware of that. So I understand where it's coming from, and I appreciate it. I do have I'm going to venture into this slowly because I really don't want to have an adversarial conversation with anyone about this. I think, and I appreciate, by the way, the work that staff has done on this. I don't mean anything that I say right now is not disparaging of any staff efforts whatsoever. But there's one little thing that's, and there's multiple things, but this one, how do you trap? First of all, I don't know what's wrong with trapping a feral cat, having it spayed or neutered and returned. That's okay, isn't it? We promote that. Doesn't matter if it's feral or tame. By the way, I don't know how you coax a feral cat into the cage, but not the tame cat, because you coaxed it in with food, correct? I apologize. I'll speak up.
Supervisor Couch to the chair. Yes, you do, but it doesn't, this ordinance doesn't prohibit it. We just need to do it in a coordinated manner. You do not want to have people.
Well, I thought this ordinance specifically said.
Without a permit. I think that's the key word. I would love to talk to Ms. Pruitt. If she's already doing it on a park, like, let's talk and coordinate where we have a group in a park doing it.
You're right. Well, it says to bait any wild animal, including but not limited to coyotes, deer, squirrel, feral cats, foxes, raccoons, skunks, or beavers within any county-operated or occupied building or portion thereof. Maybe that's why you couldn't hear. Or occupied under a leasehold without a license or permit granted by the county. So these will be permits, just like the one that the cat people, by the way, that's not a pejorative, that's an actual 501c3, the cat people, right? They have an agreement with the county, have had for decades now. It would be a similar type of agreement. Is that what is the permit or license that's referred to?
For cats, yes. Yes.
You know, I sat quietly and I listened. I would really appreciate it if we could just do the same.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm with Supervisor Perez on this, in that perhaps there needs to be a little bit more work on this, a little bit more of a look. I do think we need to do something with regard to regulation of all this activity in county parks. That is a logical step, to know what people are doing and where they are doing it on property, taxpayer-owned property, and those types of activities. We have every right to know that and to regulate that. Otherwise, we have some chaos, which maybe we are getting to in certain areas. I'm not an expert on what's occurring currently at Hart Park or Panorama Park or really any of our parks in this regard. I don't think this occurred, so let me ask this. I know this doesn't have anything to do really with Kern County Animal Services, but in a way it kind of does, because Kern County Animal Services might be utilized in the trap, neuter, and return. By the way, is Nick Cullen in the back? Nick, could you come down for just a moment? I want to ask you a question in a second. Thank you.
Supervisor Couch, sounds like you're offering yourself and along with me, or maybe Supervisor Flores, whoever makes sense, to meet with folks and come up with a plan.
Well, you already dragged me into this. Don't drag me further into it.
Speaking of dragging people into it.
Yeah, no kidding.
We get to drag you in, all right?
That was smooth. That was very smooth.
This did not go through the Animal Control Commission because this is just an ordinance that General Services has authored. Is that correct? Should it, just for some input, or would you prefer it to not do that? I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm just curious.
We will follow your direction, Supervisor Couch. This is an ordinance on parks, not on.
I got you. Okay.
Supervisor Couch, Chris has a suggestion when you're ready.
Okay, well, I want to ask Nick, I want to make sure that people, what is today, Nick?
But today's World Spay Day. Officer.
I'm glad you didn't say Tuesday.
Supervisor Couch through the chair, today's World Spay Day.
And what did you do today at the Kern County Animal Services?
Our team and our partners, our community partners, provided for the sterilization surgically of 229 animals.
Okay.
Including,
Now we can clap to that. I love Nick Cohen.
including 19 feral cats, and then 103 domesticated cats by our own Dr. King.
Oh my gosh, God bless Dr. King.
Thank you.
Well
I
done.
drug you down here for that, but
Thank you, Supervisor
you're off the
Couch.
hook.
Do you want to hear Parlier's idea?
I'm happy to hear it. Thank you.
Supervisor Parlier.
Stick around, Nick. All right, I think I have an idea here. I think it really belongs to be vetted out further within the Animal Services Committee. I'm in that committee too. It gives us an opportunity for staff to have further conversation, for the community to have further conversation, not only talk about that, but talk about mandatory spay neuter, TNR, and kind of put it all together. And then when we vet a little bit further, come up with suggestions that stick between staff and the community, then we come back to the board with potential suggestions.
Thank you, Supervisor Parley. And also, I think a benefit of that approach from developing more ideas and input, but also to have it bring back before a full board when we have Supervisor Peters here. Since this
Absolutely.
is so, county-wide, I think would behoove all of us.
Yeah, that's very well stated. So Supervisor Parlier, then what
I make a
do you-
referral to the Animal Services Committee
Okay,
on
the
this
commission?
item. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you meant, you meant the two-person committee. Is that the two of you?
Well,
Supervisor Flores,
let
do you
me-
know?
stand by one.
Yeah, because you said committee, I wasn't sure if you meant the
Well,
commission or the committee.
I'm on the Animal Services
Okay.
Commission, so let's see if Jeff and I, stand by one.
Yeah, the commission is different from the internal committee.
Is there an
Supervisor
administrative
Flores is saying
committee?
there's an internal committee that may make sense.
Well,
Looks like you and me may be off the hook, Supervisor Cash.
Which,
well, I'm going to ask County Council, do you have a suggestion on another standing committee, or would it be best served within the Animal Services Commission?
Where would we have the most opportunity to hear from these? These are the experts, in my opinion. And we, of course, have a responsibility. Nick, of course, has incredible expertise. But these folks are really on the ground. They have a sense of the culture, the norms. They're really there. And they're passionate and upset today, and I like it myself. But, I understand that sometimes creates tension, and that's not a bad thing, in particular when we can utilize all that to come up with a good outcome.
Supervisor Perez, I would suggest that if you want a lot of community involvement, that the commission, the Animal Services Commission, would probably be more appropriate than an internal committee.
So it would be the Public Safety Committee. Who sits on that committee?
Me and you.
Flores and myself. Okay. So what do you guys, Nick, can you weigh in? Back to you.
Supervisor, Chairman, Madam Chair. Yeah, I think it's certainly an issue that can be taken up by the commission. I don't know what the customary approach would be, but it's Elsa's correct that it's not a Title VII issue, which is mainly what the Animal Services Commission focuses their time on, animal related issues that lie in Title VII of the county ordinances. So this is outside of that, but it involves animals. I'm sure it's something that the commission can have public input on.
Okay.
And have
And then we
public
can
debate on it.
understand the problem we're trying to solve and the best possible solution to get there with is, these folks are volunteers. They spend their resource, their heart resources. They're the people to help us. I believe that. I sincerely do. So Couch, what do you
your
think?
other option is to create an ad hoc committee for just this purpose alone.
Jeff?
Whatever you want.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Supervisor Flores?
Thank you, Chairman. Appreciate the discussion. So, this can fit in a number of different areas. Director Cullen, did you say that wildlife is under the purview of your Animal Control Commission, yes or no?
This, Supervisor Flores, through the chair, this particular ordinance proposition doesn't involve the Title VII ordinances, which we're responsible to enforce, so it's a little bit outside of our normal purview, but we do have some enforcement abilities and capacities in wildlife, so it wouldn't be entirely inappropriate.
Okay, thank you. So I see there's a Public Safety Committee, Commission internal that could be comprised of Supervisor Perez and myself, so that's one avenue.
option.
The second avenue would be Supervisor Couch's suggestion that we create a special ad hoc that actually might have total focus. That'd be great too. Or we could do a dual track. We could do both.
Supervisor Couch says he would do the ad hoc.
I would like to do the ad hoc.
I think that sounds really nice. These are excellent thinkers to work through the problems with you. I mean it. I believe it with all my heart.
Thank you.
And so, Supervisor Parlier, did you want to, were you vying for it?
Well, I will say I'll withdraw my motion. I'm making a motion for an ad hoc committee with Supervisors Flores and Couch to further discuss this issue.
Very good. What that means for the public is that we're going to separate, you're so powerful today, and you're so important, and you were so effective today, that we're going to create a special committee to hear from you. And I ask that you get together, gather your thoughts. You know what you're doing already, but to really come up with a plan and an idea that you think the county can really help you with. More money for spay and neuter is not necessarily the plan, okay? Because this body is fighting like hell to put as much money into spay and neuter as promised, I promise you. And Nick has been the champion of that, my hero on that for a long time. That's not really the solution. We've got to come up with a plan that addresses what the county concerns are, what Supervisor Flores expressed earlier, and of course uses your expertise to get there. So if that makes sense, that's what we're talking about doing now, based on your input, your political organizing, and the effectiveness of you being here today. So I want to tip my hat to you for coming down and petitioning your government and recognizing that it is your government, and that you have a role to play in how we do this stuff better. And you've had 2 supervisors step up and say, we want to be part of that. And we want to put all this behind us and move forward in a constructive, productive manner so that we do right by our little friends out, the beautiful, unique creatures that you're all advocating for today, which I really appreciate. So, Council, is that good?
That is good.
Okay, so we need a motion then?
I think Supervisor
I'm
Parlier
sorry, the
made a
public
motion.
portion is closed. I'm so sorry. We'll flesh these issues out as we move forward through the committee.
second-
Jeff, do you want to
second.
make oh, no, I'm sorry.
second, please.
Supervisor Parlier made a motion. Supervisor Flores seconded that. And let's vote on that. Yay! Yay! Now we get applause. This is good. This is your government in action, and this is a good, good civil debate that had some tenuous moments. You're passionate and will not be ignored, and I frankly really like that. So keep it up. I think that's how we get to the best possible outcome. So that brings us to the end of our agenda for today. We're going to adjourn. We will not have a meeting March 3rd. We will come back March 10th. Supervisor Peters will be here to chair that meeting, and we'll move forward and continue to find good solutions. This body will put forth a public statement about when that meeting's going to be. Please get together and come up with some great ideas that you can work in conjunction with Supervisor Flores and Supervisor Couch, who have so graciously offered themselves to do more work in addition to what they already do to bring a good resolution here. So
Motion
thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Thank you, Jeff. Supervisor Flores, adjourn. Nice job. Well done.